Michael Gibson, who's an interventional cardiologist at Harvard Medical School. Michael, really good to have you with us. We heard an update from the president a little bit earlier visiting that biotech facility about the potential for a vaccine very soon. Are you encouraged by the developments that we've been seeing with the various research and testing that's been happening with coronavirus vaccines?
Well, thanks for having me on. I am very encouraged. We have a lot of good shots on goal here. These vaccines seem to be safe. That is, other than some headaches and some sore arms, there aren't a lot of complications. And they seem to give you antibody levels that are about as high or higher than people who have actually come down with COVID-19. So they seem to be effective. So now we're moving into a phase where we really test them out on large numbers of people to see, will they prevent an upcoming COVID-19 infection?
Michael, one of the most challenging aspects of the coronavirus pandemic is all the different studies and the research and the articles that we read, and they're often conflicting. And so I think a lot of Americans might be sitting at home right now and saying, well, wait a minute, we've been hearing that a lot of these research studies into a vaccine, we hear racing to find a vaccine, Operation Warp Speed. I think a lot of people are a little bit worried that are things moving too quickly? Is there enough being done from a safety standpoint to make sure that the side effects wouldn't be something that would be worse than the virus itself? How do you sort of allay those fears for people who might be thinking that at home right now?
Well, it's a balancing act. This is an emergency and you have to move quickly, but you also have to move safely, as you're suggesting. I think we're lucky. The small studies show that there's really good safety with these initial approaches. Now, it's going to take much larger numbers of patients to make sure that that's true and to make sure that it's true over the long haul. I think other than the bruises and pain in the arm and headaches and just not feeling well, some of the things we worry about are, would the vaccine cause your body to mount a too strong of an immune response when you get sick with COVID? It's called enhancement. That's one of the things we'll be watching out for. We have not seen that yet in the early trials. Of course, some of the other good news is that it's not all about antibodies. It's also about cellular-based immunity. These are the cells in your body that go and attack and swallow up the virus. The good news is that a lot of these vaccines are also stimulating your body's killer cells to go attack the virus. So we got two shots on goals here in the body, the antibody and those cells to attack the virus. And it looks like these vaccines will do both.
And Michael, as you mentioned, again, if successful, what does this pandemic look like with the vaccine? What changes, I guess, from an atmosphere standpoint? Will there be less social distancing? Will there still be a need for people wearing masks? What does the world look like with a vaccine?
I think it'll look radically different. I think it'll be a hyper-local thing, though. I think you may see some communities that develop what we call herd immunity because some of the members of the community are now immune because they've been vaccinated and they won't be passing on the disease to others. But if you have parts of the world where there is no vaccine, where they haven't received the vaccine, they will continue to have very high rates of infectivity. Until we really conquer this worldwide, I think we're really going to, really be in a different world. But this will make a big difference in the lives of those countries that at this point can have early access to these vaccines.
Well, Michael Gibson, we will leave it on that very optimistic note. We appreciate you coming on to share your expertise with us.